Hi everyone, Nigel Saunders here. It has been over a month since the Chinese Privet workshop, and you can see my Chinese Privet is growing quite bushy and needs a pruning. I'm standing back looking at the overall styling of this tree. So it has a twisty trunk that kind of snakes around in here. You can't really see it too clearly, but it's there. So I want to continue that curvy movement to the tree. I want to build up kind of an apex here and then kind of have it flatten out. So it has sort of an overall asymmetrical triangular form, but not, straight sides. It's got to be very free-flowing to match the curving of the trunk. Here's a close-up of the trunk. So I'll have to do a lot of pruning to clean it up so you can see that nice flowing trunk line. On the trunk line here, I have a branch that sticks out the front here, and it kind of blocks your view of the trunk, and you want to be able to see the trunk. So if I keep that branch, I'd want it kind of reduced or hanging so it doesn't interfere and block the trunk line of the tree. So I'm having a look at it. There's a shoot kind of horizontal back here that I could prune it back to. I'll snip it off here for now and maybe remove it totally if I don't like it. So off comes that branch like that. So now you can see the trunk line. And I want to decide, do I need a branch in this location or do I just want to see the trunk? I think I just want to see the trunk. I've got my apex here and all my cascading branches here. So I think I want this part of the trunk fairly clean looking. So I'll remove that branch entirely. So I'll come in and make a flush cut. Right here. Like that. So already that exposes the trunk line and it looks much more flowing and more interesting. So next I'm going to tackle this apex up here. I've got two branches coming off the same spot on the trunk. I should only keep one. There's a bit of dead stuff in here I can remove. So I just need one trunk line or one branch line. I'm going to remove the little thin one from the inside here. Like that. And then I got to decide which one I want to keep. You can see it from this view, how it divides. They come from the same point. Two branches coming up. I just want to keep one. I think I'll keep the one coming forward and prune off the one at the back. So here I go. All right, so let's get in here. Prune off the thicker one, keeping the thinner one. The reason I'm pruning this one off is that it's directly in line with the trunk and it'll shade out, these branches back further on the trunk line. This one kind of comes forward, which is nicer, and it doesn't shade out anything on the rest of the tree. So now my apex comes up and it divides into two here. I can prune out this dead stump in the middle to clean it up, like that. And this divides into two, so I can clean out the dead stump in the middle there. And there's another one here. And then I've got to decide, what I want this apex to look like. I think for now I'll just keep it as compact as possible and keep all my branching. So I'll prune these shoots back to the first pair of leaves. Like that. I'll just prune a part off. And one here. Like that. It's that'll be developed further in the future, maybe shortened to bring it down closer to the trunk line. But for now, it's got enough leaves on here that it'll gain vigor, repair the wound, and thicken up, and then maybe I'll prune it off, a hard prune here and develop the foliage closer to the trunk line for the apex so it's not kind of sticking up like a pom-pom. But that'll come in the future. So you can see the trunk line, it's had a hard prune here, which is fine. That'll heal over eventually. And then the trunk line, it comes up, curves down, and then it starts to curve up again. So I want to keep that flow line. And this branch does that, and even the thick one that's being chopped off behind kind of still continues that flow. So I'll have to decide which of these branches I want to keep. There's too many coming out from one spot at the moment. There's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. There's like 9 branches coming from one spot on the trunk, and that'll just create a big bulge here if I leave that. So I've got to clean it out, get the structure nice and flowing. So I looked from the front, and there's a branch here that's very straight and angular. So the trunk starts to sweep up here, and then there's this straight one coming off. I'm going to remove that. It's quite a big cut, this whole bottom section, and there'll be a lot of branches attached to it. But I don't want it, you know, the trunk line sweeps up here, and then this one just comes off at an angle. So that one is going to be removed. So this is a big cut. I can reach this thicker branch from the back more easily. So this is the back of the tree, and I'm going to just take a small branch off here so I can get in at that branch to cut it off. There's another stump here I can remove. Like that. So now you can see that branch clearly, so off it comes, and it's going to be a flush cut. So here I go. Big cut coming up. Just like that. So that removes a lot of the tree. You can see how much that removes. And this would probably grow as a cutting. I'm back to the front view now, and you can see how the tree flows better. It doesn't have that awkward branch hanging off of it. So I'm going to look at it again, and there's a small branch in here I can remove. I think the end of this branch is dead, but it has living shoots here. So I'm just going to remove this little sucker at the base here, like that. And then there's one hanging down here. I've got to decide, do I want to keep that or not? I don't think it flows with anything, so I'm going to remove it. I'm looking for continuing these curvatures of the trunk in the branches. So this branch, you know, it starts off kind of curving upwards, and then it kind of goes horizontal or slightly cascading. So I could cut it off here and see what happens. Hail Mary cut. That's a possibility. Or I could just, you know, develop it out here and let it strengthen up and then cut it later. I'll have to decide about that. So I've kind of got like a nasty stump here, and I have to, you know, get a new leader going or prune it right off. One of the two. And I think it's going to be a case of cleaning it up. Let's have a look at it from the back. So here's that stump from the back, and you can see there's some nice flowing branches coming off of it. But the upper part of it could be removed. So I'll do that. I'm going to take everything off. You know, I'll keep these branches out the back here, and everything up here will be removed. So that'll be, you know, quite a cut. So here I go. I'm going to nibble away at it until I get it just right. So that branch comes off. This branch comes off. And then I can nibble away at this stump here. It is getting very close. Let me just rotate it around so you can see the front. Yeah, there's the front view. So I just need to do a little more cleanup here. I need to come in here if I can. Okay, I think that's good. I'll show you a shot from above. Here's a look at that cut from above. So you can see I've got it, you know, as flush as I can get it. It's looking quite nice, and you know, someday that'll kind of repair itself. blend in quite nicely. So let's look at the tree from the front. Here is a look at the tree from the front now. So you can see that trunk line. The branches flow in with it quite nicely now. So I'm going to, I don't really like the straight one out front here. I'm going to prune the dead end off of it and then just leave it, strengthen it up, and maybe do a hard prune to that in the future. I still have like 3 branches growing from that spot on the trunk. I don't really need the one that sweeps upwards quite nice, but the one in the very back there, kind of straight and goes towards the back, I don't need that one. I think that would be the one that I prune off. Off it comes. So here I go. Like that. So that's gone. And then I want to take this deadwood off on the end of this one. Come on. Which is a little bit alive there, but there's a little stump I can take out here. Let's have a look from the front again. Here's the tree from the front. So I'm going to prune back these long branches to here, to here, and to here, and to here. Bring this one back. Just a general pruning. Okay, I'll have a look at it. Well, my thoughts, I think this branch flows in nicely with the trunk. This one, again, I'll let it strengthen up and I'll probably have to cut it off and try and get something going in a better direction. I think I'm going to take this lower branch off. I don't really like that. And I'm going to take this one off that's kind of coming a little vertical. And this one. That keeps it kind of flowing a bit better. And on this one, I think I'm just going to leave this one as it is. There's a branch coming out the back here. That needs to be pruned shorter. So I'll go back to here, like that. Here's a look at the privet design. So I think it's nice and flowing now. That apex needs to be lower, the one here, to bring it down closer to the trunk line. And eventually this won't sweep up so high. I'll get some branching in here and here, and this will be a little more compact, kind of creating that more of a triangular silhouette. So I'm going to keep the tree quite small and miniature. So the next step is just to let the tree grow and recover, gain vigor, and then eventually I'll be pruning these back and getting more branching closer to the trunk line. And by letting it grow, it'll also help smooth in all those wounds and just make the tree a little more harmonious. Yeah, so I think that's it. I think that's all I can do to the tree for today. And I think it's taking steps towards having a coherent style, is the word. Something that makes sense, nice and flowing and smooth. I'll eventually be repotting it in a pot that's about half that length. So it'll be more of a semi-cascade pot. So it'll kind of look like that. And I think that'll help improve the design also. Today I pruned up my Chinese Privet, taking it from kind of a bushy looking tree down to the basics of the basic branch structure in order to get a style or a theme going for the tree, that curvy kind of smooth flowing style. And it's something I can build on in the future and continue to improve. That's all for today. I'm Nigel Saunders. Thanks for joining me in the Bonsai Zone.